Hi everyone, welcome to my bullet journal setup for March. This is my first video on YouTube, so I'm really excited about sharing my thoughts and my journal with you. So grab a cup of tea and join me while I set up my journal for March. So we're off to a good start here. I've completely messed up my lettering. It might have something to do with all the cameras and the lights around me, so please bear with me while I get used to this new setup. Before setting up for the month, I usually like to do a review of the previous month. I've used a Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen to do my February in review title, and I found some nice pink paper in a shop called The Range. It was just in a random aisle and I picked it up and just saw lots of different options in the pad and thought this would be perfect for my journal. So I've picked out a nice pink paper here and cut it into squares for me to put my reviews of what I've been reading and what I've been watching and what I've been doing, and I've cut up some photos from the month. I didn't take many photos this month, but I have some pictures here of my nieces and my son when we went for a day out together with my sisters. It was a really nice day out, so I'm glad I captured some pictures here to stick in my journal. I always find that I don't really do anything with my photos and they end up piling up on my phone and getting lost somewhere, so I'm really glad I've found a way to use some of the pictures that I take throughout the month and over the years to capture the memories and lay them out here like this. I tried out a few new recipes this month, so I'm including a new recipes section. It was Pancake Day in the UK and I found the perfect buttermilk pancake recipe. I've drawn a little doodle here to show what it looked like, although I have quite a bit more syrup on my pancakes in reality. Here I'm writing out the books that I read in the month. I love capturing this at the end of each month because I can have a view of the types of books that I'm reading, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, and I can kind of see what I was into for the month. I'm using a Sakura Pigma Micron pen in the 08 size. That's what I've used throughout this whole spread for the lists that I've been making, and I find that it's really nice to write with. Gives a nice thick black colour, which I really like. Lately I've really been enjoying including quotes from the books that I've been reading in my journal. So this month I read a book called Where the Forest Meets the Stars, and this is a quote that I read in that book, so I included it here in this spread. And generally when I like a quote, I jot it down and include it somewhere in the monthly spreads. I'm just using a light grey Tombow brush pen here. I'll include the number of the pen in the description below. So here we are at last, setting up for March. I'm drafting a quote page here next to my March title page, and the theme for this month is books. I've been really engrossed in lots of different books this year, and I've just been speeding through so many books, and it just felt right to have a whole spread, a whole month dedicated to books. I love books and I love reading and being surrounded by books, so I think I'm really going to enjoy this month when I work through my spreads and I can see books on shelves throughout. It will just make my heart really happy. It's also World Book Day in March, so another good excuse to have a book theme for this month. Another quote that I really love about books is, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one." I couldn't agree more with this quote. You get to live hundreds of different lives through books and learn so many lessons. So I think it's only fair that we dedicate a whole month of journaling to books. For this setup, I'm using the Tombow Food and Earthscape soft tip brush pen for the title, for the March title, and the Tombow brush pens in different browns and greens for the colouring. I'll provide the links in the description below. The gold pen is a Faber-Castell gold pen, and I'll provide the link to that in the description below. I'm keeping my monthly log clean and simple. I'm finding that I only need one page rather than a double page spread for this, because I only really use it for events. I usually set up separate master lists for the month if I have lots of things that I need to get done, so one page is enough just for events. As you can see, I don't like using rulers, only in exceptional circumstances I use rulers when I want a really clean, minimal look. But most of the time I like more of a doodle effect, a freehand sort of look. And I find that it's also much more relaxing as well, just drawing freehand, and you have the dots to guide you. So that's the kind of look I prefer. I'm setting up some habit trackers for the month. I haven't done that for a while because I stopped following them, but for some reason, some months you just really want some habit trackers. Things like getting more sleep, eating more fruit, and waking up at a certain time. I do find it really useful if I feel like I'm not doing those things and I really want to. I bring back the habit trackers. Oh, and I guess I also really regret not doing my pelvic floor exercises after giving birth 2 years ago, and I need to start tracking it to force myself to do it. This is one of my favourite monthly spreads. I subscribe to a magazine called The Simple Things, and it's all about enjoying the simple things in life, really. So I like to incorporate a list in my journal of all the simple things to pay attention to that month, and usually related to the season as well. So this month, for example, we're going to get more daylight, so I've got something in there about appreciating the extra hours of daylight. It's Mother's Day this month, and I guess I was just thinking that we always think about our mums on Mother's Day, and as a mother myself, I hardly ever take the time to appreciate the fact that I am a mum as well. So I've included in this list, have an extra long cuddle with the kids and take a moment to appreciate being a mother. I have my gratitude log set up for the month. It's something I love to do at the end of a day, in the evenings, just jot down a few things that I was really grateful for in the day. It just kind of helps get some perspective, especially if you're having a difficult day or on the harder days. You really appreciate having a gratitude log. Here we have the first weekly spread of the month. This was lots of fun. I thought it'd be fun to just space the boxes out like this and overlap them to make the page look more exciting, and it does. I am quite happy with how it turned out. It was really fun to draw. I've included a little box in the bottom with some of my weekly habits. During my 2020 setup, I had a spread for all of my ideal habits, and one of them was weekly habits. So I find that if I transfer them over to my weekly spreads and tick off the weekly habits, I'm much more likely to do them, and it keeps me on track with those habits. When I don't do that, I generally tend to have messy floors, a messy house, and all the other things that I like to do weekly kind of fall by the wayside, so I like to track that here. Here is my final flip through of my March setup. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so you receive notifications every time I release a new video. Follow me on Instagram for regular bullet journal inspiration. I'll leave the details down below. I plan to do a flip through of my 2020 bullet journal setup so far. If that's something you'd be interested in seeing, please leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.